Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to teach you step by step as to why we need to do certain things for our skin and our makeup to last longer and to look even more beautiful. So finally, let's start with the makeup. Once you have left your skin after moisturizing, after your skincare, leave your skin at least for 10 to 15 minutes before you start your makeup. Alright? So first things, let's add a primer. Now based on your skin type, you can either use a hydrating primer or a mattifying primer, or you can use a pore-filling primer. You can use a pore-filling primer. Okay, so I'm going to use today a pore-filling primer, which is from Essence, MySkin Perfector. Okay, this has a little bit of tint to it, so it kind of gives you a little color also and removes the redness from your skin. Once you're done with your primer, then we move on to the foundation. Now again, foundation varies from every skin type. Now my skin is very dry, so I'm going to use a illuminating foundation, but you can use a mattifying foundation or a full coverage foundation or any foundation that you wish to. I'm using a L'Oreal True Match foundation and I'm going to take it directly on the back of my hand. To apply foundation, you can either use a flat brush, which is a flat bottom brush, or you can use a flat brush to apply it. The best is a beauty blender. Okay, I'm going to just apply all the foundation. Try applying your foundation first to the inner circle and then move outwards. Okay. Now I'm just going to try and show you how to do it with the flat brush. Do not forget your hairline, very important. Try not to add too much product under your eyes because as it is, you're going to apply concealer over there. Okay, now I'm going to apply with a flat brush, flat bottom brush, like a kabuki brush. Now, because the foundation is so light, medium coverage, and because it is illuminating foundation, you won't see much of a difference in the application. But if your foundation is full coverage, you will see a lot of difference when you apply your foundation with a flat brush and if you apply with a kabuki brush or if you apply it with a beauty blender. I normally apply the foundation with a beauty blender, or if I haven't applied it with a beauty blender, at the end I'll just dab everything so that I know everything is evened out and there is no harsh line of the brushes. Once you've applied your foundation, we are going to move to the eyes, and for that I'm going to use a concealer. You can use two types of concealer. Number one is the one that is closer to your skin tone, just to hide your dark circles if you have any, or just to get your discoloration corrected. And the other one is a shade lighter to your skin tone, which kind of enhances your features, which is used for highlighting, which you normally use under your eye, bridge of your nose, your forehead, your cupid's bow, and your chin. So let's see how to apply. Now again, if you have really dark circles, then you need to use a color corrector. Now this is a color corrector stick. The first color is the green color, which is actually used for any redness, your acne mask, or any acne marks if you have any, to hide that. You just have to apply it in the place and just dab it so that it gets hidden. The second one is the orange one, which is normally used for your dark circles, which is basically for hiding any hyperpigmentation, any dark spots that you have across. And the third one is the anti-dullness. If you have a certain patch of your skin which is dull, you can use this kind of corrector and it will be good to go. I'm just going to show you how to use a orange corrector under the eye. I'm not going to use too much because I don't have that much of under eye. Use your fingers to blend it. Now once you've color corrected, okay, I'm going to apply the shade which is exactly the match of my skin. Do not apply too much concealer. Start little by little. To blend the concealer, again you can use a beauty sponge, or you can use a brush which is a dome shaped brush, which is easier to go in the inner corners. I'm going to start with the beauty blender, the tip of it, and then move with it. I'm going to apply a shade lighter just in the inner corner, again at the end. These are the areas which need to be highlighted. So let's take the beauty sponge and then dab. Make sure you get the corner of the eye because that's where the actual darkness remains. So we're going to move to the next step. After having your concealer, you need to set your concealer with a translucent powder or a brightening powder. Now I'm going to set it with a translucent powder, and for that I'm going to use the taper brush. This will help concealer not to move from its place and not to settle in the fine lines. Please do not apply too much of powder. If you want to bake it, then it's fine. So this is how you do your foundation and your concealer. Now once your foundation and your concealer is done, we need to start giving some structure to the face. And how do we do that? By creating shadows. Now when I say creating shadows, means we got to use a darker color or a darker color foundation or a concealer that will help us do that. And for that I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer. Now this is like 2 or 3 shades darker than my skin tone, and this will help me create some depth in my face and some shadow to give me that sharp features. All right, so let's get started. Now I'm going to use, you can use any bronzer, or you can use any contour that you have. You can use a stick, you can use a palette, whichever one you want. You need to see where your ear bone starts. You need to take it down. So you want to create a shadow like this. Don't create a shadow like this. It doesn't go towards the nose. Create a shadow like this. And again, go very little by little. Okay, I'll do one cheek at a time so that you can see the difference. I'm going to use the same foundation brush to do the blending. And I'm moving the brush in the upward direction. If you want very sharp bronze contour. Now can you see the difference between the cheeks itself? Let's do the same thing here. You can always use a beauty blender to do it, but I just feel a brush gives an even or more intense contour. Can you see how much structure did I just give to my cheekbones? And now what we're going to do is we're going to give some structure to our jawline. Makeup can do wonders. Can you see the difference? Now you can also contour your nose if you have a little broad nose like I just have. What you need to do is you need to start from your eyebrows. Go down. Just make sure you don't use too much of the product. This I'm going to use a blending brush, okay, a little thicker one, and I'm just going to blend this out. And lastly, we need to contour our forehead. Now for this, you have to move your brush in the upward stroke. So this is how you contour. I have done a very mild contouring. There are people who do a lot and in-depth contouring, but that's not something that I do. But this was very easy to learn. Now let's move on to the next step, which is bronzing and blush. Now what are these two? These two basically add color to your skin. Now you can always finish your contour, your concealer. It is not required to do bronzing at all. But if you do bronzing, it gives a very different kind of a look to your skin, and you will see that right now. So all the places where you have contour, you have to do bronzing. This will also help the contour to show more and to stay in place. Now for a bronzer, again, it has to be a shade darker than your skin tone. Now I'm using the Butter Bronzer by Physicians, and I'm using an angular brush. Now why an angular brush? You can always use any straight brush or a flat brush or anything. An angular brush will give you more control. So take your brush, dip the excess, and then with a very light hand just start your bronzing. And please make sure to see where all I am bronzing. It kind of, you have to make a 3 out of it. And yes, you do have to bronze your nose a little bit. Where you've contoured, just slightly bronze it there as well. So did you see the difference on the skin? It gives you a nice sun-kissed look. So now we're going to apply blush. Now blush can be applied with a very fluffy, should be applied with a very fluffy brush. But in case if you don't have any fluffy brush, just go and buy it. Okay, now placing of blush is very important. Now what some of us have the cheekbones which are right ahead, some have it a little behind, some have it down. So you need to figure out where your blush should be placed. Now because every face structure is different, we should be applying our blushes differently. Not necessarily if I am applying it on the cheekbones, you can apply it on the cheekbones as well. No. So just try and figure out where can you place your blush, and that will look better. Okay, for me, my cheekbones are right in front. I just want to add a little flush of color, and make sure that you have a very light hand when you're applying a blush. Also, always try and apply the blush on the bridge of your nose, a little bit in the middle. It gives a very natural blush kind of an effect to your face. I apply it on the chin as well. Lastly, I'm going to apply a highlighter. Okay. Now, just in case you think that you've applied your highlighter too much, so what you need to do is take the sponge that you used for your makeup, okay, and just dab it. It will help blend and just melt in your skin. So this is your complete face. Oh, sorry. The last step is a makeup spray. Now this spray comes in again 2-3 different forms. One is for a matte finish, one is for dewy finish, and one has some sparkle kind of a thing in it, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so I'm using the NYX dewy finish one. Do not spray it very close. You need to keep at least half a hand distance. Yeah. What the setting spray does is it melts all your makeup and just makes it look like that's your skin. So this is how you do your fabulous, fantastic base. I wish I had such beautiful skin always. So this is how you do your foundation, your concealer. So now you know how bronzing and contouring makes a lot of difference to your skin and your face and your makeup. So in my next video, I'm going to share with you step by step how to apply the eyeshadow and make it last longer. Keep watching because I'm going to share a lot of tips and tricks to make your makeup last long, to do makeup which is very easy. So stay tuned, keep watching, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and also check my social media because there is a lot of tips and tricks that I show on my Instagram as well. Thank you for watching and thank you for stopping by. I love you all. Do take care of yourself. Be home, be safe, and be good. I love you all. Mwah.